So, Matt and Akbar, American Ninja Warrior is back in the Emmy race for the second year in a row. You guys had your big breakthrough last year in the reality competition program category. So, coming back again this year, was it just as surprising to learn that you guys have been nominated again, or were you like, all right, we've been there and done that?
It's definitely not a been there, done that. I think I always learned this from Matt is that, it's always, you're always grateful for every opportunity. And so just to be nominated again, it's not like you're going in with a big head. You just, anything that you get coming your way is always a blessing.
Well, take us back. Did you guys attend the Emmy ceremony last year?
Oh.
Well, take us back to that night. Tell us a little bit about what that was like.
Well, Matt had a lot of fun. Matt. Okay, I think we lost Matt there.
Okay.
But I will, as he's getting ready to reconnect. I mean, I brought my wife. Matt brought his girlfriend. We had the whole crew, so it was a lot of fun. I think we have Matt back on now. But
I'm back. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties.
All right, that's all right. But no, it was a ton of fun. And, it was all new for us. Walking the red carpet, the media outlet. Everybody just taking pictures, and it was a big time event.
It's been a big step for the show, I think, feeling like it is kind of the acknowledgement that this show has reached a certain level that people in the industry recognize. And to be a show that goes from a small cable channel that no longer exists in G4 to network, to being a hit, to being nominated for an Emmy for the second time is remarkable. I mean, it's the Grand Slam home run. I think we all know how fortunate we are.
Well, going off of that, I mean, you guys just finished up your 9th season. So, I mean, Matt, you've been there since the 2nd season. Akbar, you've been there since season 5. What are some of the ways that the show has grown and developed over the time that you guys have been there?
Well, I think
okay, go ahead, Matt.
Well, I was going to say, I think the biggest change, look, it's changed visually. I mean, it's changed in every regard. Literally, even the people. Having Akbar has been a great boost for the show. But I think what's really the biggest impact has been in the storytelling and the way we tell the stories of these athletes. And you realize it's 2 hours of people doing an obstacle course, and yet every run feels different and every run truly has stakes because in 90 seconds, we find a way to make you care about these athletes.
Yeah, and the one thing that, for me watching prior to coming on to the show, just, the history with these athletes as well. And, over the years, you've come to know their story and you've seen their maturation. You've seen that. And you can always lean on, for example, during a call where Matt will have some, nugget or history from the time that this competitor competed in season 3. And, and I think the fans can connect to that because there's a good mix of the old stories and then new stories. And we saw a lot of that this season where you see some cool new stories that allow people to relate even further. People like, I think of Jimmy Choi, who competed this year, and, with Parkinson's disease. I just had a letter pop up in my house 2 days ago from a lady. Her name is Margot. And she just went on and on. I don't even know how she found my address, but she sent me a letter just thanking me about being open about sharing my experience with Parkinson's and calling the run of Jimmy Choi. And I was moved by that. And you just don't know the reach that the show and these stories tell.
Right, and I think a part of the appeal of it is that you see these everyday people, some of whom have extraordinary circumstances, like the gentleman with Parkinson's you just mentioned. There have been athletes with one leg. There have been people with all sorts of handicaps or disabilities, but they push themselves and they do these extraordinary things on this show.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing. I love. And this, Matt, correct me if I sound a little crazy here, but I do love the energy that Matt and I bring too. And I've been in the booth calling football games. I started off in this business calling college football games. And, it's not normal to get as excited as we do. And the fact that Matt allows me to get as excited, that Matt can be who he is, and we are, and then it just makes this one big time show.
Well, I think the unique element of the show is that it's truly not a competitive show, even though by all accounts, this is a reality show where you would have winners and ostensibly losers. And I think what's great for Akbar and I is we don't have to be impartial. We get to cheer for every single one of these athletes. And what's great is we've gotten to know their stories, and we get to know these people, like Akbar said, Jimmy Choi. You can relate to them through some of their struggles, or just relate to them as people and get to see them grow and fall in love and have kids. And for us to be able to just be a fan at home and genuinely want these people to do well because we know how much they've put into it. I think it really is unlike any other competition reality show. When you look at the other ones who are nominated, that there's only one winner. On our show, someone like Jimmy Choi doesn't hit a buzzer, and yet I think his run would be as successful as anyone's. What that guy proved, the difference he's making in people's lives. It's a unique show in that people can win in so many different ways.
And I mean, the show really does play upon our lifelong fascination with athletes and the ways in which that they kind of embody exceptionalism.
Yeah, it really is. Look, this is a show where what's great is I look at Akbar. He's 6'6", as he points out, 240 now, but the guy has his six-pack. That's who plays in the NFL. And try as we like, Zach, we may not be physically gifted enough to do that. But when you look at some of our competitors, a guy like Joe Moravsky, who's 5'9", 170 pounds, and by all accounts, a normal-looking guy, and yet he's one of our most incredibly consistent and high-performing competitors. And you see people can relate to these athletes. These are people who have full-time jobs, people who have families, people who are overcoming incredible obstacles off the course. And I think that's something that really makes this show appeal to people, is they go, if I worked hard, I could do that. And we see people every year go from the couch to the course.
And there's also this great theatricality to the show. I mean, in the sets and the way it's produced. You know, I mean,
absolutely.
Really highlights the drama of what these athletes are going through.
Yeah, I think the drama is a part of it, right? It wouldn't be reality competition if we didn't have the drama. And I think the drama plays out well. You know, when we're through these long shoot nights and we're out there 12, 13 hours, you've got 100 competitors going in the qualifying round, and you can see it kind of unfold. And sometimes at the end of the night, we're like, boy, I can't wait to see how this is going to unfold once we put it all together and put this package together. But it really is, too. I mean, you look at it as a form. I'm here in the NFL studios right now in Culver City, and I played a tough sport. And I can tell you, I have so much more respect for these competitors, these athletes, because I've tried it. I've tried to walk in their lane, and I can tell you it's as difficult as anything I've ever done. And I think the level of difficulty each year, we're pushed to try to change the obstacles, to make it look new, to bring more drama in just the looks and then also the difficulty level, just because these athletes are so strong. So I love it.
But even more than the difficulty, Zach, one of the things that really makes it special is that they don't get to practice on the course. They don't know what they're going to face, and they get one chance. And so at any second, a run can end. And we saw that with Jeff Britton a couple years ago at stage 1 in Las Vegas. After completing it, after making it to the top of stage 4, one of only 2 people to have done it, he goes out on the very first step of the very first obstacle. And we're shocked. But it's things like that that sting. It makes it hurt. But that's what makes you care, is that these athletes really do have stakes, and they put themselves out there. And again, you know, I look at Akbar, a guy who was playing in front of hundreds of thousands of people, a guy who, you know, he learns how to deal with it. For most of our athletes, a lot of them didn't play high-level sports. They haven't competed in front of 100 people, let alone thousands of people live and millions of people on the air. So for these athletes to perform when the lights are at their brightest, it is truly remarkable.
And let me give a little shout out to our mixers and our composers. When you have a dramatic moment like that, Jeff Britton going out, and the background music always does it well. Like you can feel the intensity. Like, oh my goodness, Jeff Britton just went out. This guy was, by all accounts, the first American Ninja Warrior. So, anyways, you feel the drama with the composing going on in the background.
For sure, for sure.
What's it like for you guys on the day? I mean, as you're watching this stuff unfold, I mean, we get the benefit of watching it all cut together in, you know, in a nice episodic package. But what's it like for you guys live on the set watching this stuff?
It's intense. I think physically it's intense, not as intense comparatively speaking to the ninjas, but on our voice. Remember, what you see is only 10% of what we call in the qualifying round, and so we're seeing it over and over again. But I think it's a marathon for sure.
So I wanted to ask you about the episode that you guys submitted for Emmy consideration, the Los Angeles City finale. What about that episode stood out for you guys?
Well, for me, one of the great things again was Jesse Graff, and we've seen on this show some of our most memorable moments have come through the female competitors, whether we think of Casey Catanzaro or Michelle Warnke or Flex Lebrecht. But for Jesse to City finals, the highest a woman has ever faced, and to do it in one of the most loaded fields, and to show that through hard work, these people are all competing on an equal platform. I think it was a remarkable moment for the drama of the competition and the difficulty of the show. I think it embodies everything between some of the great stories we told, as Akbar said, the preparation of these athletes, and then the drama of actually physically executing on the course. And for us, you can hear it in our voices. We are fans first and foremost.
Akbar, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I think Matt just said it right there, because that was the highlight moment. And for me, it was a little extra special because I had an opportunity a couple of years back to work out with Jesse Graff. And I just wanted to kind of get a feel for what it was like when I started to just kind of tiptoe around the whole ninja fitness movement. And I was blown away by her strength and her confidence too. Oh, come on, Akbar, it's so easy. Just do this. No, what are you talking about? It's not just easy as just do this. Don't tell me just do this. Don't you bench press a whole lot? I watch your workouts. I see. I'm like, no, totally different. But it was exciting to see her make it that far. And like Matt was saying, just the explosion of our female competitors. And nowhere else do you see where women and men are competing, for the same prize money on the same platform in front of everyone. It was big. That night was special.
So how have you guys evolved as hosts during the course of the show, especially in the 4 seasons that you guys have been working together?
Ooh, I think a lot of it has been our chemistry together and finding out kind of our sweet spots. And the other thing I think is just the experience of doing this show. And for all of us learning this show, every year we learn more about the athletes, how they compete, and we have a chance to talk to them. And Akbar is out there trying the course and really getting his hands on it to better understand physically what they're going through. And then for us, I think, to learn how to tell the stories and tell emotionally athletes go through.
For me, it's been a lot about learning about the television business as well. I've learned a lot from Matt. I call Matt a student of the game, so to speak, just because, his wealth of knowledge, his experience, but also too, Kent Weed, Arthur Smith, Anthony Storm, Brian Richardson, just understanding what you're trying to tell. A lot of it is storytelling. Matt talked about that earlier, just, being able to tell these stories in a good 90-second bit, 60-second bit, and then understanding what we bring to that. And so for me, I think when I first started Ninja Warrior, I think it became a word battle. How much can you say and fill up the dead? It's a lot of time, but as I start to understand and grow, our chemistry start to get better. The camera shot, even our director and the way he captures some of the cool looks that you're seeing on it. So I've learned a lot about that personally, and I think it's allowed us to kind of grow as a super team. I think we're like the Golden State Warriors of reality TV. We're a super team now.
They certainly are. So can you give us any insight into what we might expect from next season? Any kind of new obstacle courses or things like that we could expect?
One of the great things is people always ask us, where do the obstacles come from? And in season 9, it was great that we had the obstacle design challenge that actually took place during season 8. So this year, every city had at least one obstacle designed by a viewer. And it was so fun, I think, because people are so passionate about this sport, to let these people at home who are so creative to come up with these diabolical challenges. So as Akbar mentioned, the courses are always getting harder because the ninjas are coming in better prepared. And it's been fun seeing the creativity of the people at home and adding to the gauntlet that we make these athletes survive.
You know what I'd like to do, Matt? I'd like to design something. I think I'm going to get together with my kids and have my kids submit it, and hopefully they'll give it consideration. But I want to design some of these, because you know what I love? Sometimes I'll skip out in seeing the obstacles. They'll send us a draft of what is going to happen, what we're going to have in front of us. And sometimes I don't want to look at it because I want to be surprised when I get on set and I'm seeing it for the first time when the competitors are seeing it. So I'm just as excited about looking at the obstacles, because sometimes they're just visually intimidating when you're staring at it. So I enjoy that process, but I want to be able to be the guys like, hey, I designed that obstacle that took you out.
I'm curious to know what that would look like. Somebody like you.
Sharks and laser beams.
Something with a football, maybe too. I don't know.
Right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. Congratulations again on the Emmy nomination.
Thanks, Zach.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.